Chris, I hear it all the time, companies acting like they have to choose between growth and margin expansion. Why do you think that's such a common fallacy?
God, it's like it's got to be a top 20 question from investors, which is, if how much faster you think you could grow, but what would you have to sacrifice on the margin side? And it's this like weird, like, maybe I just haven't experienced it being true. I'll give you kind of, how did I come to this realization? At our healthcare data analytics company that I started as a chief product officer at and was COO before becoming CFO, when the teams that I started to work with early on in my career there, one was the product group. And the product group's incentives were to have a product that produced the highest ROI for the customer, which makes like total sense. The operations group's primary incentive was to have the highest margin, so the most efficient product. And oftentimes in this particular product that we were selling, those could come in conflict with one another. If we're trying to drive an outcome for an end customer, for a big health plan or provider, it may take heavier engagement of our product. It may take more phone calls. It may take more digital notifications. It may take more in-home assessments, but that drives cost, but it also drives a higher ROI. So how do you find this like kind of this common incentive approach, or how do you bring these teams' incentives to be more aligned? And that kind of was this unlock to where, hold on, like I can have two organizations that might be in conflict with one another. I want to grow faster, but I want to be more profitable, and kind of bring them on the same playing field. And, to me, that then came back to walking into the organizations that I've become a part of and literally stratifying all of the labor costs and all the people costs on this barbell, kind of back to, how do if I have one side of the organization that is like closest to code and the other side closest to customer, where do my people sit on that spectrum? And interestingly enough, and I don't think it's an indictment on companies, I just think it's human nature. We tend to fill the people with the information, like people that provide information rather than maybe are creating the product or selling it. So we have this heavy middle, and what we can do is you can just redistribute the middle. So you get all this efficiency by taking out, becoming more lean, more efficient in the middle layer, but then giving that back to the product team, giving that back to the sales team. And, this redistribution, if you will, of where resources sit, then allow you to build more product faster and sell more product faster, while at the same time, you just became more profitable because you got rid of all these resources in the middle that were mostly measuring things. So it's been an unlock that we haven't had to wrestle with as a company. We've been able to, it's a really, it's a stat that makes me feel good. I don't know how much others feel about it, but there's like 510 plus public technology companies. And if you look at the number of those that from 2021 to 2025, what's expected of them of consensus, have grown over 20% and expanded free cash flow margins every single year over that period, there's eight out of like 512, 513 public companies. We're one of those 8. So I think it does speak to this fact that not just in a period of time, but over an extended period of time, it is possible to grow fast and be more profitable at the same time.
Run the Numbers is a mostly LLC production. Yelling an intro by Fat Joe. Artwork by some AI thingamajig. Podcast and video editing is done by Cleancast at cleancast.io. Nothing said on this podcast is intended to be business or investment advice. It's the sole opinion of me, a guy who feeds his dog too much ice cream and has a history of net operating losses, LOL. If you like this podcast, please hit subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And also check out mostlymetrics.com. That's my newsletter where I explore business models and financial metrics. Thanks for riding with me. Share this with your friends. Peace.